Our good friend Chad Brown, Mechanicville trainer with the Derby on Saturday, has Practical Joke. Will be in the field of 20. And, of course, Chad, I would say the top trainer in the country, was voted the top trainer in the country, right? Am I right, closer?
That's right.
They voted, and they said, I'm not saying it. Those in the know say it, that Chad Brown is the top trainer in the country. We've always known that, and he joins us here on Big Board Sports for a few minutes in his hometown. Good morning, Chad.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Appreciate it, man. So, what are you feeling here on a Tuesday with the draw tomorrow and Derby Day on Saturday? What's the vibes telling you right now?
Vibes are good. The horse is training super. He looks magnificent. Big, strong, fast horse. Keeps getting better. He settled in the Churchill Downs very well this week. Had a breeze over the course, and I'm optimistic he's going to run a great race on Saturday.
What style are we talking about when we're watching Practical Joke here on the track?
Yeah, I think he's a mid-pack runner. Hopefully we have some luck at the draw tomorrow. I'd like to be more towards the inside of this big field and hopefully secure a spot in the center of the field and get a clean trip.
Has this horse been on your radar for a while?
He really has. He's always trained with a lot of promise before we debuted him at Saratoga, where he won. And then, of course, he won the Hopeful on closing day to cap off a great meet and followed up with another grade one after that in the Champagne. So the horse he's a proven multiple grade one winner, very dependable horse, extremely consistent. He's run 6 races in his life, and all 6 of them he fired and ran very well. I'm hoping his consistency leads him to a top effort in the Derby.
Chad, I'm in studio with Chris Honorato and our closer, our horse racing expert here, Brian Mariano. So go around the horn. Chris, little thought here for Chad Brown. I'm definitely I'm going. I don't know how much I'm going to drop on Practical Joke, but it'll be a significant amount, Chad.
You got enough to drop, right?
There you go. I love that. Chad, I am not although we've spoken many times, I'm not a real big gambler when it comes to horse racing or anything for that matter. But in a field like this, everybody's telling me it's wide open. How wide open, in fact, is this Kentucky Derby?
I think it's wide open in that there's not a real clear leader of the division like an American Pharoah or something like that. I think that there is a top group of horses, though, that are probably amongst the most likely winners. But it's one of those years I could see anything happening. And I feel like with our horse, he's now moved his way into that top group. And that was really my goal. And then once he's in that top group, anything can happen.
Well, coming off that, Timmy Wilkin from the Times-Union up here, who I know you know, told me months ago that if I were smart, I would have had a futures bet on Practical Joke.
There you go.
Yeah.
Chad, I know you were back and forth this week with the horse, whether you're going to run with blinkers on, and you experimented a little bit with it, but what got you to the choice to not add the blinkers for the race on Saturday?
Ultimately, in a mile-and-a-quarter race with 20 horses, thankfully now I have some more experience having raced 3 horses in the Derby now, and you learn a lot each time you exit the race. Being involved in it, you understand it's a very unique race with that many runners, and you blink and 2 minutes later it's over, and you're studying the race afterwards, see what happened to everybody. And I only experimented with the blinkers for the stretch run in his races where my horses gave the appearance he might hang a little bit around horses and not finish off his race as well. I thought maybe a small blinker adjustment on him and focuses him up a little bit. So I equipped him with him, I worked him with him, I broke him in, and I covered all my bases and at least got myself prepared to race the horse in him, and he accepted him and was fine. But ultimately, I'm mostly concerned about the horse just settling and relaxing for all of this mile and a quarter. And I found that in his long-distance races like this, if he gets a little bit too aggressive with that change of equipment early in the race, it could burn up useful energy for later in the race. So I decided, for now, I'm not going to use the blinkers. Maybe down the road, if I'm still not happy with the way the horse is finishing his races off, I'll consider it again.
Chad, will this be the best horse you have taken to the Derby and at the post here with a chance to win?
Potentially, he's certainly the most consistent horse that I've taken. He's having won 2 Grade 1s, and he's the most accomplished horse, and he's the strongest horse physically that I've brought to date as well. And I think as grueling a race it can be, that's going to bode well for us.
How much does the past experience of you've been at the Derby, you've experienced all the hype and, interviews like you're doing now and TV and the draw and leading up to it, have you learned from prior experiences? Have you changed anything up a little bit in how you get yourself and, of course, your horse ready for the Derby?
Yeah, it's helped me a lot. I won't say many changes. It's just I'm prepared to make decisions a little better. When you're dealing in Churchill here too, the weather changes so much just with daily training and stuff. And my first trip around with Norming Invasion, I'd be up all night watching Weather Channel and, trying to, not make a mistake and stuff. And now I have more experience not only in the Derby, but more experience running a large stable for a number of years now. I learned certain things are out of your hands, and, there's always multiple options, to make adjustments, and I seem to make those adjustments a lot smoother now that I've been doing it longer.
What are you hearing on Tuesday about the weather there on Saturday?
It's unfortunately turned for the worse, but, nothing's definite, and certainly tell you from racing horses here in the past, the weather really can change. The forecast can change literally, by the hour around here with storms in the Midwest just coming through or nearly missing you or hitting you direct. So looks rainy Thursday and Friday. Saturdays there's a chance, so hopefully it stays clear. I don't have a firm opinion about my horse on a muddy track.
Yeah.
There was some moisture in the track for the Champagne, and he won, but I think everyone would rather a clear day Saturday.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. All right, more on the draw tomorrow, Chad. What needs to happen to that draw? I mean, you want to be you said the middle somewhere?
Inside, more towards the inside. The dreaded rail draw wouldn't be good, but ideally anywhere from the inside to the middle of the field for my particular horse is what I would like.
And if you win this race, you'll still say the Travers is the most important, right?
Yes, just by a nose, though. Good one to win. So, you have a lot of racing luck, and unfortunately, we're in a position we have a good horse. So,
how confident are you right now on this Tuesday with the race on Saturday that this horse can hit the winner's circle?
I'm very confident that we have a horse ready to run the race of his life, and that he belongs in that top group of horses we talked about earlier. And that's about as far as I'll go, because I have so much respect for the race. I know how difficult it is to win it or even to run well in it. But I'm confident in my horse. I like our chances. Is
there a reason why there's no clear-cut favorite? I mean, I heard some trainers say just because there's no clear-cut favorite doesn't mean this is a bad 3-year-old crop.
I think that's a fair statement. I think it's, these horses are still very young. They're, just 3 years old, and going a mile and a quarter is a long way to go for a young horse. And I think more, I would agree with that and say it potentially could turn out to be a very strong 3-year-old crop. It's just, there's a large group of them that just aren't developed yet. They're still coming along. So you could see a horse take a big step forward on Saturday, and that's where your long shot could hit, a horse that's just developing at the right time.
Well, I hope Practical Joke is in the winner's circle. Chow, we wish you nothing but the best of luck. Have a great rest of the week, and we'll hope for the best on Saturday, my man.
All right, thank you. Thanks again for having me.